sweet life has been good to me. I've had some freedom and the will to be.
Mick.
Yes, good evening.
10 years of Mrs Yarringtons. So, as I'm only a recent convert, I've got lots of questions. First being, what is or who is Mrs Yarrington?
You mean where did the name come from, I suppose?
Yes.
A bit of an epic story, really. There's a very short version and there's a long version, which you don't want to hear the long version, goes on forever. We used to have a music shop in Battle, and the shop was in a place called Old Ladies Court, and we wanted a name that kind of fitted into that location, as it were. So me and my brother Dave, who's not here, we were messing around with names because Dave wanted a long name. I come up with the name of Mrs Meakin's Pie Shop, and then we thought we might get sued for that because we nicked that out of Blackadder. And then so we come up with the name of Mrs Yarringtons Music Emporium, and Yarringtons is our granddad's name, which has died in the family. So Mrs Yarrington's Music Emporium became Mrs Yarrington's Music Club.
And it keeps the name alive,
It
so
keeps the name
it's really
alive.
nice.
Yeah.
So
and no one forgets it.
No.
When we first opened the club, the shop, we wanted to do gigs as well. And then we did a few gigs down the local Memorial Hall, and we did about 6 or 8 there, and duly got banned because of the neighbours. Well, we never officially got banned, but we got encouraged not to go again. Mind you, it probably didn't help when we had Budgie. Remember Budgie? The old rock band Budgie?
Yeah.
And we put them as a part of their British tour and promoted it as Let's Upset the Neighbours, which probably didn't go down very well. And they were very loud. So we were, say, not encouraged to go back there again. So we thought, well, let's take it small and take it intimate. So we did. So we just went down the small route, and which people seem to enjoy, and a financial aspect of it as well. That if your costs are less for a smaller gig.
So your very first gig, who was it, and how many people did you get?
Well, for Mrs Yarringtons,
yeah,
sold out because we used Martin Carthy,
right,
as an opener, and it was. We thought who's the biggest acoustic act we could find, so we used Martin Carthy. We employed Martin Carthy, so he was the first gig. That was at Crowers Park. That was their first venue.
And how many people did you get?
70, 80.
So you didn't lose money then?
Not well. He wasn't cheap, but no, not that one. But the second one, well, I think we had 8 for. There was a guy from Canada, and it was snowing hard, and then it's been up and down since then, really. I must say, it's only been in the last 3 years, so it's taken us 7 years to get to a point where we're actually
on a more even keel.
Yeah, more than once we were going to stop. In fact, we stopped once and then said we're not doing it anymore. We can't afford it anymore. And we had 3 gigs left, and every one of those 3 gigs was effectively sold out. So it kind of pushed us on again.
So basically, I mean, it seems like a labour of love rather than a money-making enterprise.
Oh, it's not money-making, no.
No, because, I mean, you charge, once you remember, you only charge £10 a gig, and when you think of the quality of people, well, since I've been going, the quality of people I've seen there, I walk away mesmerised by the fact that I've seen such quality, and it's only cost a tenner.
Yeah, and well, where we are now is better for that because it can get more people in there. And the fact is, one of the reasons we do it on a Tuesday is if there's a touring act, Tuesdays is often a dead night for them. So
it's a cunning plan.
It's a cunning. I mean, not to go into financial details, but the one you're talking about, Alvin Youngblood Hart, who's basically £1,000 a night guy.
Absolutely.
We didn't get it. We didn't have to pay that much because it was a dead night on a Tuesday, and he was on his way to Belgium. So we got.
Oh, he was going to Dover.
Yeah. So we managed to get him a pretty acceptable price.
Yeah. So you didn't lose money on the night, in other words.
No, bizarrely.
And then, of course, King Size Slim offered to do a gig, so presumably he didn't cost much.
No, he didn't. cost anything. He almost threw his performance in for free because he wanted to see Elvin. Yeah. So there you go. A win-win.
Well, it's win-win for all of us because he, to my way of thinking, he got a bigger response than Alvin did actually. From what I could hear.
Don't push him in a corner, but yeah, he blew the show away. Really.
I just thought he was totally made it. When did the radio station start?
Oh, that was just a bit of a fun, really. A friend of mine is retired a few months ago, and we just something to do just to kick around, really. Just for something to do, it was a bit of fun, really, and we just play basically music that's on that people who've played at the club or the festival. Festival or the Big Green Cardigan, people don't know. So it's basically people who played at Mrs Yarringtons, played at the Big Green Cardigan, or a local. So that's the.
Is it on 24 hours a day?
Yeah, it's on online. If you go off our website.
But do you record for it, or do you just you don't have a DJ?
No. What we do is a couple of things on it. The basic is a database where automatic DJ plays what we've done. That's the basic. But there's a friend of mine, he's a Mike as well. He likes classical music, so he does a classical music show. And then I do one of music out of my record collection.
Right.
And we also put in things like we record Mrs Yarringtons as well. So we put a set from that in there as well. So it's on there, just kicking around. It sounds to me like you basically subsidised this whole issue over the last 10 years. No, not really. The radio doesn't cost much. I mean, once you've got it up and running and pay for your license.
Do you know anything about how many people listen? Do you have any?
No, you don't.
No.
I know it's listened to around the world. There's people. Most of our listeners are in Spain, of all places, which is slightly bizarre.
Okay.
But it's very low.
Expats, possibly?
Possibly. I don't know. Maybe people just find it interesting. The funny thing is, my view on internet radio is I don't think the Brits have engrossed it, really. They're too interested in Radio 1, Radio 2, and they're not interested in internet
That's
radio.
the problem with a lot of the musicians, like the likes of Captain of the Lost Waves, who we're going to see a bit later.
Yeah.
Brilliant musician, but you never catch him on any of the mainstream stuff.
No, that's only pop radio rules. Yeah.
I've got a New Year's resolution that I'm going to more shows of people of yours that I've never seen or don't know because it's just when I know I'm going to like somebody I will book, but otherwise. But
I understand that. But I also think there is a bit of a counterculture to the X Factor thing, where people are looking for real people who can really play.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, you mentioned the festival, Green Cardigan, I think you said. Tell me about that.
The Big Green Cardigan, which is now, we've done 8 of those, which is just outside Saddlescombe. Basically, Mrs Yarrington's big weekend out, really. So we have.
Can people come and camp there? Or?
Oh yeah, it's like a festival, but in micro form. So it's we only have a licence for 500 or 600 people, so it's very small. But it's no kids. It's generally people my age who just want to have a chilled out weekend, really. It doesn't appeal to the person who wants to drink 45 pints of lager and swim in mud.
No.
It doesn't appeal to them.
So what do you see for the future then?
Just keeping it going, really.
no big plans, just keep going what you've got.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, from the festival point of view, no plans to make it bigger. That's not what we want. We just want...
It's almost like the whole Mrs Yarrington's empire in microform, obviously.
Yeah, it's all microform. Yeah, we're not keen to make it bigger or more expensive. We like the smaller, we like the intimate, and it's like our friends come now, Yeah. I mean, the festival and the club's the same. It's like our friends, and it's more like a friendly meet.
Something I loved about it, and some people wouldn't, is that you can actually hear the music, because when you go to a pub, you never really hear the music without this background chatter that goes on, whereas at Mrs Yarrington's you really get to hear the music.
Well, that's it. That's one of our conditions, is that you don't chat and you switch your phones off. And on the same respect, I mean, we've had some issues where people have played in Hastings at a pub and then come and played at the club. We still get the numbers come to the club because they don't want to go, and the audience don't want to sit in a pub and listen to it. The Captain's an ideal thing of the Mrs Yarringtons, really, because we're at our other place at the Four Seasons tonight, but the Captain's played at Mrs Yarrington's probably 5 times, 6 times.
Oh, he's a regular then.
And he's played at the festival once. So the first time he played at Mrs Yarrington's would have been 5-6 years ago. So we've been there at least 5 or 6 times.
He said something. He emailed a lot of people, and you came back to him or something.
Well, it's a funny thing. I can tell you a little story about him. Is that we actually booked him for the Big Green Cardigan as one of his as an artist,
Right, Sean T.
I
Hunter.
took a Sean T. Hunter, and he was ill. And he had some illness issues. And I said, well, look, and he just give me an email when you're ready, and we'll find a slot for you somewhere. And he did. He says, I've come up with this great concept. Will you book me? Yeah, of course we'll book you, and we promised to, so we did. And we were blown away by his performance. And, you know, he's a funny character. I mean, funny character is not the right word. Well, he is a funny character.
He is a funny character. He'll admit that.
Yeah.
He's totally original to me. But
I think he epitomises Mrs Yarringtons, actually. Because, you know, when you come, you might not like it, but you will like the next one. Because we don't have, when genre free, it's blues, jazz, folk. I mean, we had Trevor Watts doing his impro jazz earlier this year, and we still had 50 people there.
I think the word is beginning. It may have taken 10 years, but the word is beginning to get through to even dense people like me now. So,
well, I suppose it's just word of mouth getting out there, really.
But I think what you do is great, because it's obviously non-profit in the sense of, you know, if you make a profit, that's a relief.
Yeah, well,
but, you know,
it covers its costs now.
Yeah. But I remember having a conversation when I said, how much is that bottle of wine? And you said, call it a tenner. And I said, no, that's not enough. I don't often argue people up on price. You know?
But that's an advantage, because we're at the new venue where we've got our own bar, you know. Not to go into politics, that was an issue at our last thing.
Yeah, so how many concerts have you done at the new venue now?
This will be, we've done 1, 2, 6. So,
and I've been to only two of those so far. But what about this? How did Mrs Yarringtons and the Four Seasons come about then?
Because Bob, who owns the place, knows Joe, who was our sound guy.
Right.
And he'd been to a couple of our gigs, liked what we did, and then said, can we do something similar over here? I mean, it's a little bit different to the club, because there's people eating and...
Yeah, the atmosphere is going to be different. I said to the captain myself, I said, you might be more musically based here, because you know how he likes to riff and drift off in all sorts of directions. I said it might be harder, but we'll have to wait and see.
You can do that anyway, but it is a little bit different. Whereas the club, people sit and listen, it's a bit quieter. Here, on the second bottle of wine through their dinner, people they're going to chat. So you do have to think a little bit better difference on what acts you're getting. So they've got to be a little bit noisier, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Mick, thank you very much. I shall make something out of that.
I'd like to introduce what's going to happen this evening, but I really can't.
Some of us will be falling at beaches, and some of us go with the chair. Some of us, just because we don't want to be there. 40 yards it seems from the winning post, some jump high into the sky. It would say, they carried that Devonlock look in their eyes.